When you think of science fiction, your mind immediately goes to space and aliens and faraway planets with no gravity and 3 suns and plants that want to eat you. But, well, mine does anyway. Yeah. But science fiction can actually happen a lot closer to home.
Yeah, and it can also be extremely funny, while still maintaining a sense of mystery and menace.
Indeed, and it can also have a fish called Jeffrey.
You think that's worth mentioning?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So today we're looking at The Deep, Here Be Dragons by Tom Taylor. Focuses around the Nekton family, who live in a submarine and explore the mysterious ocean.
Yes, sort of think Lost in Space meets Jacques Cousteau, with a little bit of Whedon-esque dialogue thrown in for good measure. Actually, on the subject of the banter, let's focus on that for a second, I think, because I think in many ways that's what distinguishes this book. I mean, Taylor's always been great at writing genuinely funny, quick-fire dialogue that really makes you, I don't know, empathise with his characters and associates.
Yeah, he does. And he has the perfect partner in this with James Brower doing the artwork. He just creates the most perfect deadpan expression or incredulous frown. It just backs up Taylor's witty one-liners there.
Yeah. Now, moving on to the story itself, it is actually fairly simple, but not in a way that weakens it, more in terms of actually opening it up to an all-ages audience, which is great.
Which is wonderful. So, basically, they're out there looking for dragons.
Yeah.
Well, at least the sea monster equivalent of it. Yeah. There's been an earthquake off the coastline of Greenland, and it's created this weird kind of tidal, and the fish have gone strange, and there's been sightings of massive sea monsters. So the Nekton family, unlike a normal family, head straight for the centre of that disturbance.
Yeah. Now, this obviously opens up a lot of questions.
Indeed.
You know, is it really sea monsters, or is it a hoax? What are they going to find in this massive underwater trench? And can you actually teach a goldfish to play fetch?
Do you think that's worth mentioning here?
Yes, I do. Now, we've already mentioned Brower's work on the character models, which is fantastic, but what really caught my eye was the broad panels that he did, and just this way he has of using negative space and using the darkness, and I think that's a really important factor when you're doing something that's set deep underwater.
Absolutely. I mean, there are these amazing one-page panels where you just get a glimpse of something huge and terrifying out there in the blackness. And it's really quite scary because you're kind of seeing this glimpse going, I'm sorry, what has a tooth that big?
Yeah, exactly. Now, I've always felt that in terms of, especially when you've got these ocean monsters, when you actually show the whole creature, you lose a lot of the fear.
That's true.
That's why films like Jaws work so well. You know, it's what you hold back. Now, even though this isn't a horror book, you know, I think that is still used, and there's still a few catch your breath sort of moments where it's quite tense.
There really is, but it's interspersed with this really wonderful, again, like we were saying, the banter between the family. And they're such lovable characters. You really want them to be safe. You certainly don't want them to get eaten by a sea monster.
You do not. You do not at all.
No.
You know, sometimes you just want to have fun reading a book, and I think The Deep has that in spades.
Yes.
I really do. It's, apart from looking great, it's witty, it's really endearing, and it's a lot of fun. You will find yourself just smiling involuntarily the whole way through this one.
Reading out lines to people.
Yeah, I kept asking you to stop doing that.
They were funny.
I had already read it.
I know.
It's still funny the second time round, but you know, come on. So I think this one is definitely a great one. As I say, it's all ages, despite at times being a little bit scary. But it's definitely a buy from me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, there's no wonder that this book won the Aurealis Award for Best Graphic Novel. It truly deserves it. It's such a wonderful all ages book that doesn't dumb down the story. The artwork is amazing, and I just find that it's just funny and fun to read, like you were saying. And for a sci-fi to actually be on our own planet, I think that's
a great
idea. Because there's so many things that we've never seen and we don't quite understand here, let alone looking out to the stars. So it's definitely a buy from me as well. And it's worth mentioning that there is a sequel.
Yes, The Vanishing
Island.
Island.
The Vanishing Island.
Yes.
Images have been released, but as for the book, well, we're not quite sure.
It's still on pre-order.
It's still on pre-order
on the Gestalt website. So
but it will be coming
out for that one.
Yes. Now, Al, you've been asking, I've been asking, you haven't answered. What's your favourite sci-fi?
I've been thinking about this since I asked you.
You've had more time to think about this.
I have had time, so I really have no excuse for playing for time as I am right now.
Come on.
Okay. I decided it has to be Neuromancer by William Gibson.
Of course.
An absolutely seminal piece of science fiction. It's without this, it set the bar on so many things. We wouldn't have things like The Matrix, not to mention any other number of things. It changed the whole face of sci-fi as far as I'm concerned.
Awesome.
And yeah, has to be that one.
Has to be that one.
Has to be that one.
Nice.